Just clean your hoo-ha with water. Your vagina is not supposed to smell like flowers and rainbows. In your ecosystem, address the problem and stop putting all these band-aids on it. I need a production team back and you're supposed to get to work. I got this dress from Macy's on sale and I feel like maybe the girls are too out. Whatever. Hi you guys. My name is Stella Williams and today I am going to help you guys out with your hoo-has. So we're gonna get a little personal. So if that freaks you out, not the video for you. This video is completely educational. So I will try to keep it as not funny as possible, but I do crack jokes when I feel awkward. It's a confidence thing, we're working on it. Also like this, I'm not a doctor. Like I don't take my medical advice for fact check with your gynos, but from personal experience, it is time to make this video. I was actually in the middle of filming a Walmart haul, which you guys saw, will see tomorrow. If you're watching this 5 years after I posted it, you can look up my Walmart hauls. This video is 10 things I will never put on my vagina again. This is coming from very personal experience, so let's get personal. Last year, I would say since 2021, so for the last year and a half, actually, let me just go get receipts. Let me also say I was dealing with it, hence why I'm making this video, because I no longer have these issues. So I was dealing with back-to-back BV, so much so that Patient First gave me the BV medication that you take, the 1,000 milligrams, you're knocked out. They gave me a 14 tablet bottle. That way, every time I kept getting it, I could stop going into Patient First. That sounds illegal, but also that's how bad it was. As you heard the bottle fall, there's still pills in there because I no longer need it, thank God, praise God. But I want to make this video because you may not even know you have BV. I was like, I didn't even know BV was a thing. I just thought they were like yeast infections or something, and I would always go to the doctor and get mistreated, and then I just felt like it would always come back. To be really frank with you, when I was sexually active, the BV would come literally almost every time I had sex, and I was like, is it me? At some point I was like, is it my partner? And I became single, and then I became celibate, and then I didn't, and then I went back to celibacy. I had to slip up, but we're good. Point being though, it's resolved, and I was just noticing so many patterns. So these are like, I literally was at my wit's end. One, I don't like messing with my uterus. I don't like messing with my female. We're already so sensitive as women, and I didn't want to mess with my female reproductive system, and these pills are not the best thing to be popping like their daily multivitamins. So I needed to make a change straight up. And my doctor, my gyno was tired of seeing me. That's when I started going to, she wasn't really tired of seeing me, but she's an hour away. So I was tired of going there. So I started going to Patient First. Patient First got tired of me, and they just gave me a 14-day supply. So anytime I felt the symptoms, I could just take them because I know exactly what it feels like now. And what BV might feel like to others, what it definitely feels like to me is like a little bit of an itching sensation, maybe thicker. For me, it's like a thicker discharge. The smell is like slight, like it's just not a pleasant experience. Typically for me, I started noticing it after I was having sex. When I became celibate, I started noticing it after something on this list, which I stopped. Haven't dealt with it since. So without further ado, let's get into the top 10 things you should stop, because I stopped using on your vagina. And let me also preface this by saying, just clean your hoo-ha with water. I'm not talking about your whole vagina, I'm talking about your actual vagina. Just needs water. It is a self-cleaning ecosystem. You just need water. That's it, babe. Let's go. Okay, me worship music. I was listening to Lion by Elevation Worship. I thought when it said it had Chris Brown, I thought it meant like the Chris Brown. I was watching the video and I was like, this is not Chris Brown. All right, so number one on my list of what I stopped using on my hoo-ha, Summer's Eve. This is the vagina specialty wash. This is so unnecessary. I will say it is a little, oh, who's texting me? It is so unnecessary. Your vagina is a self-cleaning organism. You don't need to put anything in there to clean it. So Summer's Eve wasn't necessary. And they're even the scented ones are not as like soft that your hoo-ha needs. And I'll also say I am so guilty of this, so I'm gonna like make myself vulnerable in case anyone else is guilty of this too. I used to literally wash the inside of my vagina with Summer's Eve. In theory, it's like, cool, it's clean. In reality, I'm throwing the whole damn pH off, even though it's pH balanced. And when I really started looking at stuff, it was pH balanced soap. I thought it was like almost, in my head, I read that as like medicated, so it helps you balance out your pH. No, it's just, it's a safe soap for your vagina. Do not clean the inside of your vagina with soap. It is not necessary. Water will do. outside of your labia and the rest of what we culturally call the vagina, light soaps are fine. Inside, not necessary. Don't be like me. Let's move on. Number 2, I decided to put in here to be funny, but it's also not funny because I know I'm not the only one who's done this because I watch TV and I know y'all watch movies too. Number 2, whipped cream. I cannot begin to reiterate, do not put food in your vagina, on your cultural vagina. I'm saying cultural vagina because like the vagina is really just the vagina, not the whole area, not the whole kitty, right? So we don't want to disrupt pH. We don't want to do that. Whipped cream sounds fun in the moment. The yeast infection, the BV from it is not worth it. Do not put whipped cream on your hoo-ha. Maybe, and just a thought, I should come out with a food safe, this sounds like a dream. I should come out with a food safe kinky line. That is so off-brand, but also could be really awesome. That is a concept. If anyone wants to steal that, have the idea. You have this on video. All right, number 3, we're gonna go with vaginal sprays. So like Vagisil, Summer's Eve, they all have these perfume sprays to help you smell good and like flowers. Your vagina is not supposed to smell like flowers and rainbows. It should not really have a smell. And if it does, like if you sweat or something, it's a natural scent. It should not smell like Byredo or Tom Ford perfume. It just should not. And those deodorant sprays are nice in theory because the deodorant, the baby powder in them or the talc, which is horrible, in them sucks up the sweat, so you're left with this beautiful fragrance. You could put a baby powder or an equivalent on your hoo-ha. That's what we're gonna do for this video. If I'm talking about the actual vagina canal, we're gonna say vagina. If we're gonna talk about the whole area down there, we're gonna say hoo-ha, just to differentiate. If you wanna put a little bit of, you know you're gonna be outside, there are body safe deodorants to put on your hoo-ha. You could put baby powder. Oh, I hate that I even said that on your hoo-ha because I even think that is too much, especially because it's fragrance. There are like things you could do to soak up the sweat if you know you're gonna be really active. But please, I was using the sprays every day. I feel like those are just band-aids. The Summer's Eve soaps, the sprays, I feel like those are just band-aids to the problem. And if something is off in your ecosystem, address the problem and stop putting all these band-aids on it. Fix what's off because your hoo-ha doesn't need this. Number 4. Number 4 is probably the latest thing I have exiled on my list, and it's tough, and there is an exception. I do sometimes have heavy periods. Lately in life, it's been great, so the only exception is Ultras, but I stopped using Tampax, and I'm a Tampax Radiant girl. Do you hear me? Tampax Radiant, the branding's nice, the box is nice, they're comfortable, they're sleek, they hold the most liquid that I could expect for a tampon to hold. Coincidentally, during celibacy, I realized, I'm getting BV once a month now. Interesting. I'm not having sex right now. Interesting. Oh, every time you're off your period, you're getting BV. So I was like, okay, let's try Playtex Sport. Interesting. Let me switch to my Flex discs and see what happens this month. Nothing happened. A couple months ago, I stopped using tampons and have not experienced BV, and I feel like my whole ecosystem is a lot better. My ecosystem now is good, which is why I'm even confident opening up about this and making the video. I'm good. Even now, I'm working out and everything. Everything is good in the hood, so. Okay, this next one I gave up maybe a year ago, and it makes me really sad, but same concept. It makes me sad because they're so inexpensive, but they're also convenient. Vagina wipes. So I used, when I was sexually active, I would use vagina wipes, like not as a cleaning, but like to freshen up, you know, after the club or after whatever. I had naturally, this is before I was dealing with any issues, I naturally switched and stopped using these wipes again because they were scented, and I was already like starting my journey like Summer's Eve, like maybe this isn't the best. And I just switched to a cloth. So I got a pack of washcloths. You can get 10 for $3 or 5 for $3 at Target. Don't buy them on the app, they're $5 on the app. Just get those. I have 2 stacks in my closet of just washcloths. For any little reason, if I need to do the hoe bath, the quick wash, whatever, grab a rag, water, clean up. Soft soap if I'm stinky, if I'm just wanting to freshen up. That's the other thing too. Sometimes like those Summer's Eve wipes are good for freshen up. Like when you're not smelly, you just want to, you know, make sure you're right. Those are good, but think about all the chemicals. Now you know your hoo-ha's healthy, but you're adding all these chemicals that are altering your pH. What are we doing here? So I started just doing my hoe baths with washcloths and water, and I realized the vaginal health I had was so much more significant. Recommend stop using those wipes. And part of that transition too is I use like wet wipes they're flushable wipes, but I found out from a plumber they're actually not flushable. Those Summer's Eve ones are not flushable, but you know, the flushable wipes, they're not really flushable. Please don't flush them. I started using those, so I naturally like stopped using the other ones, and then I realized like, oh, these are water-based, they're unscented. Kind of like the new trend if you have kids is to stop using like Pampers or Huggies wipes and start using water wipes, because they're just better for your ecosystem. So please stop using vaginal wipes. If you feel like, again, something is off and you're trying to mask it by washing up, get it taken care of. If you also feel like, you just need a quick little rinse, I'm telling you, water, washcloth, and a little hand jug from the hospital. You will be fine. Let's move on. Number 6, and this is my bad, but again, vulnerability. Perfume kind of goes along with the sprays, but I didn't know about the hoo-ha trick. This is nothing to do with your vagina. Please do not put any perfume in your vagina. I watched a TikTok one time about the girls who were like, oh, you know, like the secret, they had their thighs up and they're like, oh, the secret to a good night is the perfume. And they're like, if you know, all the comments are like, oh, the perfume trick. So in my head, I didn't actually look up the perfume trick, and I just sprayed it like down there. Please do not do that. And if you do it, please stop this immediately. The perfume trick for sex is to take your fingers, your perfume, place it on your thighs, mid-thigh, not by your hoo-ha at all. What's happening here is if when someone gives you head, they just smell your perfume as they're doing it. So I will say that trick is amazing, but do not spray it. Do not spray your hoo-ha. Just don't do it. The trick is your inner thigh, closer to your knee, dab a perfume and rub it with your fingers like this. That's it. Do not, we're not doing none of that. Next. All right, this one's a little tough. There are product specific things to use, but I'm going to say lotion. When I lotion every day, I'm gonna make a different video on chafing closer to the summer, but I don't chafe because every day I mix a lotion and oil mixture on my body, which is why y'all always say I'm glowing, etc. You do not want to use lotion on your hoo-ha, like the labia. You do not want to use lotion there, period. And it's difficult because if you're dry, like say if you go get waxed, like I get waxed, so she'll be like, oh, your skin's looking dry. They have safe products, safe lotions to use for your intimate area, but I'm letting you know, like I would just like not care, and I'm just like, okay, like every day I'm slapping lotion on it. It would it wouldn't even irritate me to the point, but again, it's just throwing off that ecosystem. So now like on the upper part of my hoo-ha that has nowhere near my vagina, I'll lotion and then use like Cetaphil, the green and blue bottle, I'll use that closer to my hoo-ha, just a very gentle moisturizer. I've also played with my oil too. My oil seems to not bother it, but again, that was just a line for me. Once I really started understanding the vagina and how self-regulating it is, I really am very intentional on stepping back on all the things I put on it and just let it do its thing. It's kept my vagina healthier. It's kept me away from taking these BV pills. It's kept me healthy and normal in homeostasis. So let's move on to the next one. All right, number 8. This one was another instance. So I learned this one recently. So I did have sex this month and I did not get BV, but I did get a reaction to an oil-based lube. And I looked up oil-based lubes. I usually, if I'm having sex, like I have water-based lubes. So I know that they're good. The KY ones, like I've been sponsored by them. Like I preach KY because they're the best, I feel, for your vagina. It wasn't my lube, and someone used an oil-based lube on me and it gave me the craziest reaction. I was so out of whack for a week. It was just not good. So I confronted the person. I was like, I didn't confront them. I went to the person. I was like, hey, can I just see the bottle of lube that you used when we were together? Oil-based, do not use that in your vagina. Water-based, I'm gonna just preach the KY. KY even has these little lube inserts and you pop them up there and then the lube just opens. It's amazing. I miss sex. So I'm with you right now. God, but it's getting tough out here. So next, number 9, I left to the end of the list because everyone hears this all the time. Do not douche. You do not need a vinegar douche. Do not put that up there. Again, you're masking a problem. If you feel like you stink, if you feel like you funky, there's something going on. Go to your gynecologist, go to your urgent care, go to your primary. There's something happening. Douches are not necessary. Now, some people do believe in douching after sex. I don't. I think our body, again, is very self-regulating. If you're having sex, make sure you pee immediately after. Push everything out, pee, live a good life. Douching is so not necessary. And not only that, you're pushing everything out of your vagina that is working to keep yourself sustainable. Now your body has to regenerate and re-stabilize everything already going on. Just don't do it. And if you're doing it because you feel like you stink or you feel like something's off, or get checked out by a professional. Let's move on to the last one. Okay, the last one I have for you today is so vulnerable, but here we are. This is girl talk. This is what we do. Embarrassing, but here we go. I think it's no secret from my sex series. I'm a Leo. I'm very vibrant in bed. I do a lot of fun stuff. I have had, celibate God, we with you God. I had a very, very, very good time. And one way I made sure to mess myself up last year and the year before, but I didn't even put two and two together until last year. Last summer I had sex, and this is like number 10. Please don't ever do this, ever, ever, ever. I was with a partner, it wasn't with myself, and I had anal, and then I immediately went from anal to vaginal sex. Don't do that. That is so bad. The bacteria from there to there, it's like almost as bad as wiping the wrong way. Please do not put anything, I don't care if you're by yourself, with a partner, a toy, from your butt directly, without cleaning, without wiping, without sanitizing, into your vagina. If you've never experienced what that will do to you, you don't want to. Just take it from big sis. You don't need to understand. Don't do that. That's not good. The bacteria transfer is not worth it, sis. Take 10 seconds, make it sexy. Let's go wash up real quick. You want to take a little shower? La 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 la. That's what I used to do. I miss it. That's what I used to do. Just say like, hey, you want to go shower now? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making this video. I was getting so tired of trying on hauls, but of course I have a lot of hauls to do for you guys. This is what makes my channel fun for me. When I can break it up between like fashion and hauls, it makes me feel like I'm multifaceted, because I am. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful more than anything. As someone who's a recovered BV failure, it feels good to not have to worry about BV, and a little life change here and there has really kept my homeostasis of my vagina, and I really just wanted to share that with you guys today, and I hope that you got good tips from it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any more advice to give people, please leave it down in the comments below. The more the merrier. You guys don't understand the amount of women who actually learn something from these types of videos, even though they may be a little risque or cheeky or whatever. Like, the amount of people who are actually helped from these videos is incomparable. So if you have any advice, please add to the discussion. The community here is literally why this train runs so well, because we have each other. So please add your 2 cents down below, because that person, that 16-year-old in their room reading these comments, rewatching this video, being like, oh, I didn't even know about that, or oh, I deal with this. They literally have a community where, you know, they're not being taught this at home, but they can scroll in the comment section and be like, oh, I should get this checked out because Stacy 528 was like, oh, well, actually, this is blah, 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 blah. Like, you guys are so helpful to not just myself, but to a lot of people. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will talk to you really, really soon. Love and light. Bye-bye.